Hey guys, John V here from PhoneArena. You're watching our video comparison between the Samsung Galaxy S3 and the Nokia Lumia 900. Both are through AT&T. $100 versus $200 2-year contract. We're pretty much pitting the best of the best against one another. Out of the Windows Phone space, you have the Nokia Lumia 900, and of course recently available the Samsung Galaxy S3 for Android. So we're going to find out exactly which is the device that's going to be right for you. So between the two, we find the Nokia Lumia 900 to be a little bit more appealing with its design, just because we haven't necessarily seen a device like this in the US. And on top of that, it's pretty original with its looks, whereas the Samsung Galaxy S3, it pretty much, improves upon the foundations established by its predecessor, the Galaxy S2. It is thinner, lighter, but it is, its polycarbonate body doesn't seem to be as sturdy as the unibody polycarbonate construction of the Nokia Lumia 100. It does exhibit more dirt and debris, whereas the Galaxy S3 looks pretty clean, but overall we just find this to be a little bit more attractive, especially when you get the other colors like cyan. There's no question about it, we prefer the display in the Samsung Galaxy S3. It's a 4.8-inch HD Super AMOLED display versus the smaller 4.3-inch WVGA AMOLED display of the Nokia Lumia 900. So 720 by 1280 versus 480 by 800 pixels. When you do the math, pixel density goes to the Samsung Galaxy S3, 306 ppi versus 217 ppi with the Nokia Lumia 900. Of course, right now we can make out fine text, not a problem, but we notice the biggest difference for things like the web browser. When you're in a zoomed out view, you can make out the fine details better on the Samsung Galaxy S3. And on top of that, both are AMOLED panels, but we find that the one in the Samsung Galaxy S3 to be a little bit more punchy with its tones. There are good viewing angles for both, and in outdoor usage, we still have to shield them both away from the sun, but overall, we get more of the wow factor with the Samsung Galaxy S3. So both handsets utilize 3 buttons below the display. The Galaxy S3 utilizes a combination of physical home button and capacitive buttons to its left and right sides. And of course the Nokia Lumia 900 has the same trio of Windows buttons found on pretty much any other Windows phone out there. They're spaced good enough from one another, so there's no accidental presses. Above the displays, we find their front-facing cameras. It's a 1.3 megapixel one on the Nokia Lumia 900 versus a 1.9 megapixel one in the Galaxy S3. The Galaxy S3 could shoot 720p video with its front-facing camera. Of course, you have the earpieces and their light and proximity sensors. When it comes to activating physical buttons like their volume controls and dedicated power buttons, we prefer the ones on the Galaxy S3. It's a little bit more pronounced and response is better. Naturally, both handsets feature 3.5mm headset jacks, noise cancellation microphones, and of course micro USB ports for charging data connectivity. But with the Galaxy S3, you gain video out with the aid of an optional MHL adapter. In the rear, both handsets feature the same size 8-megapixel autofocus cameras. They have also single LED flashes, but the Nokia Lumia 900 utilizes Carl Zeiss optics, has the ability to shoot 720p videos, whereas the Galaxy S3, you could shoot 1080p. Lastly, we find this an advantage to the Samsung Galaxy S3 because it has a removable back cover. You could gain access to its battery, and you also have expandable memory with the micro SD card slot, something that's not offered with the Lumia 900. So here we are again comparing two different platforms. On one hand, you have the Lumia 900 with its Windows Phone 7.5 Mango experience versus the Samsung TouchWiz Nature UX on top of Android 4.0 ice cream sandwich in the Galaxy S3. Now, between the two, we have to say that we like the what Samsung has done with the TouchWiz Nature UX. It's just a lot more comprehensive with its features. On top of that, you have quick functions like that right up top there to gain access to different things. Whereas Windows Phone 7.5, we still like the start screen here. It's a very dynamic, cool look to it, but it's lacking in the personalization department. It doesn't have the set of widgets available with Android here, where you get a lot of information directly from the home screen. On top of that, you can tell its level of personalization is vastly superior with the live wallpaper and the various widgets. So all in all, we find the Galaxy S3 to be a little bit better at this one. Even though the Galaxy S3 has a leg up with its screen size, when it comes to typing on messages with their on-screen keyboards, the layouts are pretty much the same size, you could tell here, but in landscape, the Galaxy S3 is larger. Nevertheless, though, they're both very responsive to the touch, so typing out messages isn't a problem with either device. Well, there's no argument that we love that these two handsets offer 4G LTE connectivity, so you get really fast data speeds. But when it comes to web browsing performance, they're both similar here. You can tell very smooth with a variety of different, operations, pinch gestures, kinetic scrolling, very instantaneous and smooth. But we still have to hand it to the Galaxy S3 on this one, just because it has that desktop-like experience with its support for Adobe Flash. So we've seen each handset's respective music player before in other devices, so it's not necessarily new or fresh, but if we had to pick, we still prefer the Zune experience on the Lumia 900, just because it has a little bit more dynamic approach with its appearance. As far as the audio quality, the Galaxy S3 has a stronger volume output, but both are still pleasant to listen to. As you can tell, both handsets are running the same video, which is encoded in XVID 1920 by 1080 resolution. Moving very swiftly, good details, but if we had to choose, the Galaxy S3 is the preferable device for watching videos just because of its larger display, makes it more optimal, and on top of that, the colors just seem to pop out just a little bit more. As we know, both these handsets have 8-megapixel cameras, but the Lumia 900 utilizes Carl Zeiss optics. Now, as far as general overall quality with outdoor shots, they're both going to be the same. It's really hard to distinguish, but we notice that the Galaxy S3 is more equipped at taking shots, macro shots, or stuff in low lighting. It just seems to capture better looking details. And on top of that, when it comes to like low lighting situations, we just notice that the Lumia 900 tends to have this purple fringing going on with it, but their LED flashes work in the same manner. They're very effective in lighting up the scenery. Furthermore, we gravitate towards the Galaxy S3's video recording quality just because it is 1080p versus 720p on the Nokia Lumia 900, but its details are a lot sharper, colors are more natural looking, and there's less artifacting going on compared to the underexposed look of the Lumia 900 and its softer details. But both have really good audio recording. If you're going to do a lot of phone calling, you'll be happy with both devices as they present us with really good quality, clear, distinctive voices on both ends of the line. There's no noise whatsoever. When it comes to battery life, we find that the Lumia 900 edges out the Samsung Galaxy S3 just by a little bit. We managed to get a day and a half out of a single charge on the Lumia 900, whereas the Galaxy S3 managed to obtain a single solid day of normal usage. But with LTE connectivity, you could expect the battery to drain a lot faster. Arguably, we have the two best smartphones for the respective platforms right here. We have the Nokia Lumia 900 for the Windows Phone Cam and the Samsung Galaxy S3 for the Android community here. So if you have the money and it's not a concern to you, then by all means recommend checking out the Samsung Galaxy S3 as it presents us with a really cutting-edge device. It has all the modern things that you want about it. And on top of that, it edges out the Lumia 900 in the software experience with all the neat enhancements that Samsung's put in with its TouchWiz nature UX. But if money's concerned, you don't have you're a little bit limited with what you could get, you can still choose the $100 on contract Nokia Lumia 900. You could probably find it cheaper in various outlets and still respectable offering. So if you'd like to learn more about either handsets, guys, you could check out our website, PhoneArena.com. This is John V. Thanks for watching.